Hey everyone, it's Johnny, your independent Scentsy consultant. Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to talk about the bakery section of new and returning fragrances for the fall and winter 2021 Scentsy Catalog. Now there are, I believe, 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15, that sounds right. Yes, 15 bakery category scents that are going to be in our catalog. Some of them are returning, some of them are new. It's an exciting mix. Now, I am not particularly fond of bakery scents myself. In general, I prefer to do baking and have it smell like a bakery in my apartment rather than having something kind of smell sort of like a bakery setting. But there are some really great scents in here that even I myself enjoy. So without further ado, let's dive in. I'm gonna read the description, just go down the list alphabetically, and give you my opinions on the scents. All right, so the first one that we have in our catalog is Almond Croissant. And this one is described as a fresh baked croissant is made even more heavenly with cinnamon sugar and an infusion of almond. And that's really what it is. It's this nice, kind of dry, bready sort of scent. Not super sweet. I actually really enjoy this because it's not super sweet. A lot of bakery scents start getting cloyingly sweet to me. No, this one is just like a nice baked, bready, slightly dry, floury sort of pastry. And it's delicious. And it smells so yummy. And I strongly recommend you try this bar if you've never tried this before. It's a great scent, and it's one of those ones that I feel like you can't really go too wrong with. It's pretty neutral in terms of bakery scents. You know, for someone who's not a bakery fanatic, I really enjoy it, so that should probably tell you something. All right, next we have apple butter frosting. This has been in our catalog since the dawn of the dinosaurs, as far as I'm concerned. And it is what it is. It's a heartwarming medley of cinnamon-spiced apples and decadent vanilla buttercream. And that's what it is. I'm not a big spice person or cinnamon person. This is a sweet cinnamon. And the fact that you have that buttercream rich frosting component to it kind of mellows out the spice component. And then the spice component kind of mellows out the cloying qualities that a frosting sort of icing scent might have. I really enjoy this. It's a great scent. It's a little bit sweeter without being excessively sweet. And it's a nice... it's nice, like that nice middle ground when you have, especially in fall and winter, you have everything is like apple cinnamon, apple cinnamon, apple cinnamon, and pumpkin. You know, this is like the apple and cinnamon and sweetness without being overly any of the above. Like, it's a nice, well-balanced fragrance. So I understand why it does come back and stay in the catalog all the time, but it's great. So that is apple butter frosting. Next we have apple cherry strudel, which is described as Granny Smith apple, cherry, and vanilla drizzle. Insist on dessert first. This is a beautiful scent that performs abysmally for me personally. Now, I may be the only one. I may not be the only one. I'm not sure. I feel like I've heard that it's not been the best performer for some others as well. But it is a beautiful scent. I really just wish it was stronger and had more of a presence in the room. I feel like the few times I did warm it, my issue was that you smell it on the initial warming and then it just disappears. Like, I don't know where it went. I don't know if it went out the window, someone ate it, who knows. But it is a nice scent, but for me, it just never seems to throw particularly well. So, try at your own risk. Next, we have baked apple pie. And this one has been around as well for a long time. This is flaky crust, apples, and spices combined in a strong scent. And my problem with this one is that you kind of lose a bit of the apple in this. I feel like the crust and the pie crust note and the spices kind of overwhelm the apple scent, and they just kind of, apple kind of gets mixed in the background, and that for me is really where I'm like, I'm okay with the scent, but it doesn't really do anything for me. And there are better choices if you're looking for like a baked apple kind of vibe. So, not a fan personally. I think it leans more into spice than it does bakery, but it is a baked apple pie, I suppose. Maybe not one I would bake, but we're you know, they didn't use pink lady apples. All right. Blueberry cheesecake is next. This is thick, rich New York cheesecake with a light graham cracker crust and delicious blueberries. This is an interesting scent. So some days, like right this moment, I get like, whoa, blueberries. And then like a cakey note. Some other days I get like soggy shoes or soggy wet dog that rolled around in jam. Other days I get like spoiled milk or yogurt. This is a scent that not only depending on when I'm warming it, but also like how long I warm it will determine whether or not I enjoy or just want to like run and take out my warmers quickly. This is one of those scents where I'm just like, I can't decide if I hate it, I'm okay with it, or it's possibly something that grows on me in weird ways. For now, we're going to go closer towards the hatred category, just because it can't seem to make up its mind as to whether or not it's a blueberry cheesecake, or like I said, sour dairy product, or a dog rolling around in jam on the ground. A wet dog. Yeah, that's what it is. But I will say, to be credited, it's a bestseller, and it is a powerhouse performer. Like, you will not be like, I wonder if that fragrance is going to fill up my house. It will. It will, undoubtedly, perhaps not in a way you want it to, but it will. And that is blueberry cheesecake. All right, next we have breakfast in bed. This is a great scent. Wake up to a warm pumpkin pastry filled with black raspberry and topped with a sweet cinnamon drizzle. This is returning from last fall/winter. And it is all of that. It is like a pumpkin pastry, but you do get like that jammy black raspberry sort of note. It's not quite a plum note, but it does really well to enhance the pumpkin pastry note so that it's not too pumpkin-y. This is not a sweet plum pastry dupe. It is a similar vein in terms of you have that pastry vibe, you have that deep, rich berry fruit vibe, and then this adds like a sweet cinnamon drizzle, whereas I feel like sweet plum pastry is more of a like buttery sort of note rather than like spicy note as the third big component. But this is a great scent. I do love it. I do love warming this. I would totally eat this. Well, maybe not in bed if I had like white sheets on my bed, but it's delicious. This one is like a solid contender up with Almond Croissant as being like really solid choices in the bakery category, especially for fall and winter. So I highly recommend, if you've not tried this one, picking up a bar, seeing what you think about it. It's really good. All right, next we have Butter Pecan. This one is another scent that just refuses to die. It's like always here. And it is, if fall had a flagship fragrance, this blend of candied pecan and maple folded with butter would be a strong contender. And let's be real. That's what it is. Butter, pecans, and maple. Like, that is legitimately what you smell, and that is legitimately what is in this scent. So I have to say, in terms of does it live up to what it claims to be? Yes. Is Butter Pecan my all-time favorite scent? No. Do I necessarily want my entire house smelling like Butter Pecan? Probably not. But every now and then, this I don't mind warming. It does perform quite well too, so you won't have any issue with that. Whether it's the butter or the maple that really carry the scent, it's kind of hard to tell, but it is a little bit more on the sweeter, richer side of bakery, so just keep that in mind. Cinnamon Buttercream is next. This is a new scent. This one I babbled about for a while in the new release video. This one is so yummy. It is Italian buttercream and creamy mascarpone scooped over cinnamon cake, Combine sugar, spice, and everything nice. Just like the Powerpuff Girls. It is a cinnamon cake with like these fresh buttercream and mascarpone notes on top of it. That's what I'm getting out of it. And I really enjoy it. It's a sweeter cinnamon, but it's a cakey cinnamon. So it's like you get that dough, like the bready cake note. And I feel like that's what also helps me enjoy this scent, at least on cold. I haven't warmed this yet, so my thoughts may change like 180 on this, but at least on cold, I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised with how this one smells. All right, next we have Graham Cracker Crunch. This is also one of the new 10 releases. Caramelized graham cracker layered with crunchy peanut butter and creamy vanilla bean. This is like a peanut butter lover's dream. And almost all that I get out of this is peanut butter and like a burnt graham crackery note. I know it says like caramelized. I feel like it's a little bit more like over-baked graham cracker, but it's not a vibe for me. I'm not particularly fond of this one, at least on cold. I may, again, change my mind when it's warmed, but I don't know that I could go out of my way and be like, oh my gosh, this is such a great scent at this point. But it is a new release, so who knows? We will see. Next, we have Hug in a Mug, which is curl up with chocolate, hazelnut, and cookie dough. Now, this is an interesting scent because on its own, it's kind of like, it gives a little bit of a coffee vibe, like coffee grounds vibe. It gives like that dried cocoa, like not hot, fresh cocoa or creamy cocoa per se. It's just the cocoa, like cocoa powder. Cookie dough, I can kind of get like a sweet, buttery note to this. But I don't know if I would go out of my way and be like, oh my gosh, it's cookie dough. And hazelnut, there is a slight hazelnut note to it, but I don't think that that's a predominant factor. I think that like the cocoa powder note really is like the bigger, stronger player in the scent. I'm not a particular fan of the scent by itself. However, if you blend this on a 1 cube to 1 cube ratio with Almond Croissant from this category, you will get this beautiful chocolatey buttered croissant. And it is just so deliciously yummy when you combine these two. That is like heaven in a warmer. And again, I'm not a bakery person usually, so me like recommending this, it's really good. So I recommend trying this at some point, this combination, if you can. But on its own, Hug in a Mug doesn't do a whole lot for me. It's just, it smells like me putting my nose into Hershey's cocoa powder and taking a big whiff. So, moving on, we have Pumpkin Roll, creamy pumpkin pie filling surrounded with yellow cake, pecans, butter, and spice. And that's what it is. It is a kind of like more cakey pumpkin scent. As opposed to maybe a pastry pumpkin scent, it's more of a cake-styled pumpkin. And you really do get the yellow cake note. And I do enjoy this scent. I don't love it. I think there are other pumpkin-y scents that I prefer, but I do like warming this one. And I'm glad to see it come back. It's nice because that yellow cake note is a little bit different than some of the other more traditional pumpkin pie-based sort of scents. It's like pumpkin cake. Haha. All right, next we have Salted Caramel Toffee. This was a limited time offer for like Holiday Bricks last year, and it came back into the catalog. And I'm kind of excited about that. The sweet scent of salted caramel takes melted toffee and butterscotch to new levels of indulgence. Now, I am not a caramel person. Caramel, whatever you want to call it. Caramel. To me, the scent just doesn't convey the way real, true caramel does. You know, it doesn't do it for me. So, imagine my surprise when I smell this, too, because this is like a toffee-based note, that it actually smells kind of like a caramel toffee. And I do love toffee candy, like dark chocolate, almonds, toffee. Oh my god, it's so yummy. But smelling caramel, not such a thing. This scent though, pleasantly surprised me. When I first got it, I was kind of like, this is gonna be really sweet and gross. I'm gonna hate it. And it wasn't really sweet. It is rich, don't get me wrong. It's not maybe vanilla bean buttercream rich or something where it's like airs on cloying rich. It's actually, for what it is, well balanced. And I think they got the butter ratio to like the caramel note in here pretty spot on, so that it's a nice buttery toffee scent rather than a strangely caramel butter amalgamation of scent. So I actually do recommend this scent. I think I actually have a bar of it in my club now that I'm kind of thinking about what fall winter fragrances I kept from last time. Because I was like, well, I actually kind of do like this more than I thought I did. So I would recommend you trying that scent if you like buttery toffee sort of scents that are not super, super cloying, rich, sweet, and maybe not necessarily like super bready cake sort of vibe. All right, next we have Sugar Cookie. This is one that's just a staple in our catalog, and it's warm, sweet blend of butter, sugar, and creamy vanilla. That's really what it is. It's a great mixing scent, but it's also a great inoffensive scent to warm through your house if you don't want like a heavy vanilla scent. This is a lighter, like cookie, like neutral cookie scent. So it's like, oh, something's been baking without being like, wham, there's some sort of like strange bakery scent going on here. And it's not quite as rich as a lot of the other like bakery, like vanilla bean buttercream. You get like a very heavy buttercream note. This one is a very soft vanilla, and it's just, it's a nice background sort of scent if you want something. All right, last two. We have vanilla bean buttercream, which I've referred to a couple times. I have a love-hate relationship with this scent too. Not quite as bad as blueberry cheesecake. Yep, decadent buttercream frosting made with the freshest butter, whipped with cane sugar and vanilla extract. And they're not kidding when it's like, starts out with buttercream. This is like buttercream. Like if you had any doubt of what type of frosting were on those cupcakes on the table, it was definitely buttercream. In fact, the butter is just like, whoo, hello butter. And it is, I don't know if I go as far as to call it fresh whipped butter, but it's like very butter heavy. So unlike some of the other buttercream based scents, this one you definitely get a whiffle of the butter note. You also do get the vanilla. I usually like vanilla bean. I'm not entirely certain that I would call this vanilla bean. It's definitely a vanilla, but I don't know if I would go as far as being like, oh, this is vanilla bean versus just vanilla buttercream. But it is strong. It lasts a while. It does sometimes, not always, but sometimes suffer from like the blueberry cheesecake syndrome of like, I feel like sometimes it feels a little bit like rancid and like overly ripe butter. But that could just be like, again, circumstances of warming or as it transforms during its warming. Other times I've warmed it and had no issue. This is also a great scent to have on hand if you have like another scent that's either like spicy or minty or something really pungent that you want to mellow out. Vanilla scents can tend to help you mellow out a more abrasive scent profile. So I always like to keep a bar of some sort of vanilla on hand just in case I need to mellow something out. Or you can grab a brick of this if you have Scentsy Club. It's in there. You can grab it there as well. All right, and then finally we have Vanilla Waves. This is sea salt and whipped vanilla crashed into sticky caramel for an elegant fusion of opposites. This is a scent that was introduced this spring, summer. It is a cloyingly sweet vanilla scent. Like, this makes vanilla bean buttercream look tame in terms of sweetness. Like, this is, I want to like this. I like, if this is a little cookie or a cupcake on the stove that I was like, oh, I'll have that for, like, a dessert snack. I'm like, ooh, that was a really nice sweet treat, yay. But this is just overtly too sweet for me, personally. Like, I remember warming it, I was like, whoa, sweetness overload. I'm like, I feel like I'm tasting the sweet sugar-nade vibe inside of this scent. So it is not for me, but it is like a whipped, very, very, very sweet vanilla, slightly caramel scent. So does it perform well? Yes. Is it a whole lot and then some of sweetness? Very much so. So not a Johnny scent, but it is a good one. And that brings us to the end of our bakery category. So those are the scents that are coming back or are staying in the catalog, I should say. Let me know. Which ones of these are you excited to see back in the catalog? Which ones are you kind of like bummed didn't make it back to the catalog? What do you think about some of these? Do you agree on like my blueberry cheesecake assessment? Let me know. I'm always curious. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. And if you were new here, consider subscribing for more ridiculous videos featuring moi. All right, guys, have a great day, and I will see you in our next video. Take care. Bye.